Yes, people. Big up to every single one of you out there. Back again with another match reaction. A relatively positive one. Feels a bit strange to be doing two positive match reactions back to back, but I'm for it. I am all for it. So, Liverpool 4, Newcastle United 1. Yes, you heard that right, people. We have absolutely dispatched and disposed of Newcastle at Anfield tonight in a dominant performance, and a performance that you can't look at and say, the balance of play wasn't well deserved. We thoroughly deserved the 3 points, and we got a decent performance out of it too. And let's be honest, Newcastle didn't really say much after we equalised and went 2-1 up. Deserved win. And of course, I'm here to give you guys my thoughts and my overall assessment of the game. Short match review, of course, tomorrow. Short match reaction, today. Match review will drop tomorrow, so we'll go into a bit more detail on the game tomorrow. But before we get into it, drop a like on the match reaction. Subscribe to the channel. Only 4 subs away from 600 people, so ever so close. You can sub, it's much appreciated. Of course, turn notifications on as well, so you know whenever future content drops. And yeah, like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know your thoughts on the game down below as well. Having said all of that, let's just get straight into the game. Liverpool 4, Newcastle United 1. To be honest with everyone, and I am going to be honest here, I don't think we started the game well. For the first, let's say, 25 to 30 minutes, we didn't start the game well. I think Newcastle, again, I wasn't really sure how they were going to approach the game. Newcastle are known for being very hard to break down, stubborn, low block. But then at times I've watched them, and I think they play some nice football as well with the ball. So I wasn't sure how they were going to turn up today. I was struggling with low blocks. I thought maybe they'd switch it up and go with a low block. But no, they came, they pressed and tried to play. And for the first 25 to 30 minutes, I've got to sit there and I've got to say they were probably the better side. They were all over us. We couldn't control the tempo of the game. Couldn't even get on the ball for about 2 minutes of just keeping it around, playing it around. Couldn't even do that. Very, very, very hard. They were making it very hard, and we were struggling to get any sort of foothold on the game. So I've got to say, when they went 1-0 up, when Gordon scored, on the balance of play, it was probably deserved. It was a very stop-start game as well. A very stop-start game. A lot of free kicks, a lot of throw-ins. The ref, again, wasn't great, but I never complained about the refs personally. But it just wasn't a free-flowing game to begin with. A lot of stop and starts in it. And they were the better team overall for the first 30 minutes. Played the better football. And deservedly went 1-0 up. Gordon again, ex-Evertonian. You knew he was going to bag against Liverpool. Don't know what it is about these ex-Evertonians that always seem to score goals against us. Richarlison at Spurs, Gordon at Newcastle. They just always bag against us. It's just a thing, isn't it? But I can't say on the balance of play they weren't the better team and they didn't deserve to go 1-0 up. However, as soon as they go 1-0 up, it's like Liverpool just ignited. Something just igniting us. And we just roll on. We just roll on, kick on. And I think as soon as Hugo Ekitike equalises, we equalise thanks to Hugo. Ekitike goes up the other end, literally a minute later, bags again, making it 2-1. A Wirtz assist as well for the Hugo goal. So lovely combination for both of our summer signings. Wirtz assist, Hugo bags, making it 2-1. First he made it 1-1, then a minute later, goes up the other end again, makes it 2-1. So Hugo brace in quick succession before half-time, puts us 2-1 up. And I've got to say, I said it in my match preview as well. If there's one player to look out for this game, it's going to be Hugo Ekitike, because after what happened in the summer regarding Hugo and Newcastle and us, he was on the verge of going to Newcastle. Well, I say on the verge. Newcastle were interested. They wanted him. But Liverpool, of course, came in and we stole him from them. And, of course, him bagging at St. James's when he played them the first time around just felt like he was going to bag against them and have a good performance and turn up. And he did. Bullied them. 2 goals in quick succession. Absolutely, they could not live with Hugo today. And Hugo, again, had another great performance. Just, again, where would we be without this guy? Where would Liverpool be without Hugo's goals? Without Hugo as our striker? We'd be screwed. He's been so good. I can't praise the guy enough. I genuinely cannot sit here and praise him enough, because in a world where we've underachieved this season, in a world where it's been a very below par season for numerous reasons, he's been one of the only bright sparks. Come in, hit the ground running, ignored criticism, ignored hate, ignored people doubting him. And he's shut a lot of people up as well. So, again, I'm so happy for him. And Wirtz as well, a Wirtz assist, another one. People always like to talk about Wirtz not getting GA. Well, he got some today. He got a goal as well, which we'll touch on in a minute. But an assist. So both of our new summer signings combining well to create that goal. They just seem to have some sort of connection between them, Wirtz and Ekitike. Very, very reminiscent to what Steven Gerrard and Fernando Torres used to have back in the day. Very reminiscent, and I love it. Long may that connection continue. Wirtz seems to make Ekitike better, and Ekitike seems to make him better. A win-win situation, and a very good partnership starting to develop between these two as the season goes on and progresses. But as soon as it went 2-1, I felt Liverpool the better team. I will say, though, in the first half, we weren't great. Despite going 2-1 up, I think the second half is when we really started to play good football, and I really started to say, okay, this is the Liverpool I know. But first half, I felt it was just individual brilliance. You remember, we scored 2 goals, quick succession, and it was just individual brilliance from Wirtz and Ekitike combining well to get us 2 goals in quick succession. Other than that, we didn't really do much in that first half. Newcastle were probably the better team. And at half-time, I sat there and I thought, okay, we're becoming a team that are now no longer playing together as a unit, as a collective unit. We're becoming a team that are very similar to what Real Madrid are like at the moment. Very similar to what Manchester United and the Eric Ten Hag 2 seasons ago were like, where we're not playing well, the football isn't great to watch, but individual brilliance from certain players is just winning us games and getting us out of the crap, if you want to say it like that. And that's what I felt the first half was. Individual brilliance, we go 2-1 up because of the quality we have. And you can't deny the quality in our squad is there. There is a lot of quality in that squad. It's just a manager who doesn't utilise it. So half-time, 2-1 up, I thought, okay, I think we all thought and knew the game wasn't over because we've seen how we crumble this season at times. So we go in at half-time. I was certainly cautious. Most of you guys should have been cautious too. If you weren't, I'd be concerned about your sanity, to be fair. Because I felt like Newcastle would definitely bag again. I didn't think it would end 2-1. I did feel we'd score again potentially, but I felt they were going to bag again. So we were 2-1 up, but I'd probably say undeservedly so, only because of the 2 moments from Hugo. But nonetheless, we were 2-1 up, and I thought, okay, can we hold on to this? Can we hang on? Second half comes around, and normally in the second half, we drift off and we start playing poorly. I'm going to be honest, we turned it on in the second half this time around. That second half was more like Liverpool. More like the Sage of the beginning of last season before Christmas. The Sage of how we were like in the early days in the Jurgen, where it's just actually playing football, going forward, just attack relentlessly. None of this sideways, backwards business. I didn't see none of that today. When we had the ball, we were very proactive with it rather than unreactive with it. And it was very reminiscent to early last season, before Christmas and the drop-off started. It's almost as if the players have just looked at it and thought, you know what? Screw the manager. Screw his crap tactics. We're going to go out there. We're going to play the way we want to play. And we're going to win games. So that's what I think today. I felt today we won the game in spite of Slot, not because of Slot. It just feels like the players have just stopped listening to what he has to say. And they're just going out there and playing the way they want to play. And they're winning games because of it. Because the quality is there. You know, all we got to do is attack relentlessly. Don't take the foot off the pedal. And we will win most games because of our quality. So I don't put this victory down to Slot. I put this victory more so down to the fact that our players used their brains, played the way they wanted to play, and won us the game with their quality. Hugo, Wirtz, all bagged. And again, what I will say, and I've noticed it a lot recently, the new summer signings are all slowly starting to gel and starting to prove their worth. Wirtz looking very good in the last couple of weeks. Ekitike has been great since the season started. Even Milos Kerkez, who was being criticised heavily at the beginning of the season, has definitely improved recently. Bournemouth, he wasn't great, but before then, I felt he was on a run of games where his performances were actually relatively solid. Felt he was solid again today, got himself an assist too. The only one who probably isn't performing understandably so is Alexander Isak, because he's out injured. But before he got injured, I felt Isak was on a bit of a roll and he was starting to prove his worth. So all the new signings that everyone was criticising, bar Hugo, are all slowly starting to gel. They're gelling with each other, which is great, as you can see with Hugo and Wirtz's link up. But they're also gelling with other players in the team too. Wirtz, Ekitike, Kerkez gelling with the likes of Maka, Szoboszlai, Virgil, everyone. So the whole team, along with the new signings are gelling with the team that was already here last season. And they're gelling with themselves too, between each other. And you're seeing it on the pitch because the quality's improved. they look better, and we look better too. We look better when we're just playing all-out attack, when we're just saying, screw it, we're going to do what we want to do, rather than just being tactically astute and just playing this boring possession brand of football, which we didn't do today. And Lord and behold, we get the win. The same thing midweek, and we got the win. Again, we're winning games in spite of Slot, not because of Slot, in my opinion. And I won't complain because, to be honest, it was a good performance today. That second half, we controlled it. Newcastle didn't really say much in the second half, let's be honest about it. And again, I predicted a 2-2 draw, but I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. We won the game 4-1. We always beat Newcastle. It seems that no matter how bad we are, no matter how bad we are in seasons, we always have their number. Home and away, we always seem to beat them. The occasional draw at St James's Park does happen, but we always beat them. And again, we made light work of them today. No disrespect to them, but we were a cut above them, should I say. A massive shout out to one particular player today who not only had a very good performance, but scored a goal today in very difficult circumstances for himself, and that is Ibrahima Konate. Again, with the tragic news about Ibrahima Konate's father unfortunately dying, I was a bit surprised to hear that he was going to be back for this game. I thought he would have wanted to take a bit more time off to grieve, etc. But he wanted to come back in, and I was a little bit concerned about if he didn't have a great game, supporters would get onto him. But my oh my, was Konate magnificent today. One of the only times that I've looked at him and thought he's outsigned Virgil. Not to say Virgil was bad today. I think Virgil did his thing. But Konate just oversigned him today. Definitely felt like he had a point to prove. He went out onto that pitch, gave his all. Absolutely brilliant. A wall. That's the Konate we know. That is the Konate we can see before the contract talks and before this season begun. Back to last season before. That is the Ibu we know and love. And he's a warrior. I'll always credit him because to play so soon after your father dies, when you're still probably grieving and you're not over it, to put in a performance like that on the pitch and scoring a goal at the end, it just felt like it was written in the stars. It was meant to happen. And the way all of our boys ran over to embrace him, the way he patted the badge, again, it just felt right. It just felt like some things are, again, it's always some things are bigger than football, etc. And again, I was so happy for Ibu. Put in a brilliant performance and scored a goal. Well deserved. So big up to him. Hopefully, going forward now, we can start to see the better of Ibrahima Konate. And if he does start performing, there's no reason why he shouldn't get that new contract at the end of the season. Should his performances improve and should he be playing like this week in, week out, there's no reason in the summer I'm not going to be sat here and saying give him the contract because he would have earned it. But big up today. I think today it meant more to Konate than just the game, and it showed. And big up to all the boys for going over to him and embracing him. He's been through a rough couple of months, Ibrahima Konate. A very rough couple of months. I know him in particular, not to say the others weren't, but him in particular, I remember watching the FIFA videos, etc. He was very close with Diogo. Konate and Diogo were very close with each other, so he had to attend Diogo's funeral. He lost one of his brothers, one of his best mates. And while you're probably still grieving with that, you then lose your father as well on top of that. So he's been through a very rough couple of months, losing a friend and losing his father. And today, I'm so happy he had a performance like that and put in a performance like that. So proud of him. Big up to Ibrahima Konate. Big up to the whole defence as well. Other than the goal, didn't really have much to do. Kirk is relatively solid too. Szoboszlai right back, doing up Szoboszlai things, so big up to him. Subs came on, Chiesa, Endo, Jones, all did relatively well. Can't really complain. Yeah, there's no one in the team that I can really look at and say didn't have a good game. Now look, there's it's happened too much this season where there's one player in particular that shines out because he isn't performing at the moment, and that is Mohamed Salah. Look, he's going to be a talking point because we're well past the halfway mark of the season and his performances are still not there. He just doesn't look like he's there mentally. Come back from the AFCON and it's like he never left. Performances haven't improved or nothing. Scored the goal midweek, you think, can he kick on? But again, puts in another poor performance today. So he's the only one I can look at and say was poor, but I don't want to downplay him more. I don't want to get onto him at all because I want to focus on the team today because the team played very well. We've had back-to-back good performances now. 6-0 against Karabakh midweek, but I said we'll see what happens on Saturday against Newcastle. Today, very dominant, 4 goals scored, a 4-1 win against Newcastle. We'll take it. We'll see what happens in these next 2 games. Now, can we take this momentum going into the Manchester City game next weekend, which will be huge? and then the Sunderland game after that as well, which will also be huge. Sunderland, who haven't lost a home game all season. So we'll see how these next 2 games go. But I'm glad we won today. Got our first win of 2026 as well. Long overdue. Took till the end of January, but we did it. Got our first win, so I can't complain. Right back up there as well in top 4 contention. Chelsea also won today. Came from 2 goals down at home to beat West Ham. Over to United tomorrow against Fulham. Now we'll see what they do. But we did our job. We got our win. And we got a relatively good performance and an enjoyable game. I actually sat there and I was enjoying watching us play again, which I haven't felt a lot, to be fair, this season. So credit to the boys. A big credit to Ibrahim and Konate today. And all in all, a happy day for us Reds. But please, can we build on this going forward? The quality in the players there. The players we have, the quality is there. We have the quality to play good football. We know this, which is why a lot of us are dumbfounded at what we're seeing at times this season in games. But I'm not gonna get onto Slot, even though I might want to, etc. I know his fanboys will be out in full force, giving him all the credit for today's game. This had nothing to do with him. This had more. This was more to do with the players just turning around and playing their own game out there on the pitch and winning us, getting us the 3 points. But of course, his fanboys will lap it up and be trying to make out like it's him who did this and he's a genius, etc. But I'm not going to get onto Slot today because we won the game, etc. So I don't want to come overly negative. I want it to be relatively positive in today's match reaction. But yeah, 4-1, can't complain. We'll see where we go from here. Let's build on it, Reds. But yeah, people, I don't want to get into too much detail because I want to save certain other talking points for tomorrow's game. For tomorrow's video, tomorrow's match review, where we're going to a bit more detail. So I'm going to save everything else for tomorrow. But yeah, that is it for today's match reaction, people. If you have enjoyed it, of course, do drop a like. Do subscribe to the channel. Only 4 subs away from 600 people. So if you can sub, it's much appreciated. Turn notifications on as well so you know when the future content drops. Let me know your thoughts as well down below in the comments on today's win, on tonight's performance. I was relatively happy. Sure you guys were as well. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. But yeah, having said all of that, people, TLP out. Match review will be dropping tomorrow afternoon, so stay tuned for that one. Having said that, Liverpool 4, Newcastle 1. Dominant display. Much better. Much more like the Liverpool we all know and love. But can we build on it? Let's see. But for now, Liverpool profit out. I'll speak to you all soon. Up the Reds. Let's go. Bye for now.